Finland, like it's middle-sized country with population 5.6 to 7 million people.
Well, I know that they have a bridge that crosses over to Sweden.
It's famous because of their like, candies, licorice, Lego, and the Vikings that were living there like a lot of centuries ago.
I think of Denmark as a forested country with green cities and nice places, lots of parks.
The god of thunder is Thor. All Vikings were scared of him.
I think it would look really like natural. There would be nature everywhere and lots of buildings, and it would be very busy.
Welcome to the Heart of Copenhagen. You are right in the middle of the old city. If you can get a view of the premises, this is kind of the center, the heart of old Copenhagen. It is also the heart of the Danish Cultural Institute, which lives here. It's the global headquarters in a building that carries Danish cultural history.
This is not a monologue. This is not us coming to tell how it should have done, but it's a dialogue. We intend to start a discussion here at the Academy. This is the next generation of architects of China, and we hope we can inspire them, and it's learning for us. Because for me, this is an introduction to Chinese architecture.
因为目前中国的这个快速发展，快速的城镇化，以及大量的城市人口的这个大量的这个增长，带来的很多的这个城市公共空间的问题、居住的问题，以及一些公益服务设施的这个建设的问题。那么这个方面呢，如何真正的体现以人为本啊，体现具体的设计过程中对人文的这种关怀，这一方面呢，我们可能需要做很多的这种研究。那么这个方面，丹麦呢，应该说它经历过一个很长的一个发展过程，它有一些很成熟的经验。那么我们也许可以从中吸取到一些有益的经验。
I really feel that I've had some really good communication with a lot of different people while I've been here. There's things that happen here that I don't think would ever happen in Denmark, and therefore I think China would be an enormously incredible place to make cross collaborations between Danish artists and Chinese artists here.
Democracy is something that professionally relates me to a Danish culture, because that's one of the things that you can talk about human rights, you can talk about democracy through culture.
I think always when you are facing a different culture or meeting other people, that's always somehow give you a new input or new inspiration. Yeah, and as I mentioned, particularly those long-term projects, when you are really working together, I think that's the most somehow inspiring. Yeah, because it's really about process. It's not about just showing result and to coming to conference and then leaving next day, but it's really about working together.
Culture and politics are totally interrelated nowadays. Culture shapes politics and politics shapes culture. And we have seen very, very close cooperation between Danish culture institutions and Latvian. And that's, I think, also very symbolic in a way, because that's what we also expect from small countries like Danish or Latvian, to be brave, to take a courage, to be smart, and to take steps that nobody else would do.
I think that Latvian mentality is Nordic, and so is the Danish. And of course there is more in depth than on the surface. And I think that the mentality is something that makes us more close, and we can communicate on a good level. and we can understand each other. But of course, our history and our traditions are different, and this is where we can learn from each other and enrich each other.
And I'm involved in a cooperation with Danish Cultural Institute for a couple of years, and we try to present Danish architecture for Polish architecture students. Actually, due to availability of information on the internet and other sources, our students are quite accustomed with Danish architecture.
Main aim of the gallery is a presentation of contemporary art, international and Polish art, and we are working in a few fields. So it's like our main interest is art in public space, art and science and international cooperation. Last year we invited the artist Soren Dachgaard to participate in a seminar. The title of the seminar, the title of the whole project was When is a Neighbor a Stranger? And it was a project dedicated to art in public space, and we are raising a question: what is the role of the artist in public space? What is the responsibility of the artists towards the viewer or towards the participants?
A lot of tolerance, a lot of openness. You could feel and listen to the different opinions. You have a lot of dialogue, and you are very active in the civil life, and the elderly people could influence the life in the country.
Difficult to say, you never know. I can give two short examples. For some years ago, one Russian componist wrote a music when he read Smil and Hussein's Snow. He was inspired. And we have another examples the other way. For some days ago, you presented the book of the Danish young writer. She was inspired by Russian culture, Russian literature. So, different ways. It works different ways, and we never know how and when it will happen.
When working internationally, you get new inspiration, new insights, new knowledge, you increase your networks, you get new and different resources to your organization, and you become more creative.
The majority of cultural institutes in Munich and working in Brussels are associated with nation branding, that is, they do cultural diplomacy. They are still engaged in promoting their language and their history and their traditions and culture. And that's okay. However, we want to move beyond nation branding. If we want to genuinely promote trust and understanding with peoples around the world, nation branding is not going to do that for us. We have to move into an area called cultural relations, which is about people-to-people relations, working in and with civil societies. Now, the Danish Culture Institute is moving in that direction, is occupying that space, and it's probably the only small cultural institute doing that.
I don't know how much the institutions I've worked with, the musicians that I've worked with, are learning from us. Probably, maybe they can answer that better than I can answer that. But I've learned a lot, and I hope to learn much more with the Danish. I think the cultural institutions, the ones that I had contact with, they work very well. They're very straightforward, very uncomplicated.
So what I would say is that maybe we should stimulate physical presence. You know, maybe we should try to fly Danish people here to Brazil and Brazilian people over to Denmark, and then be able to meet people one-on-one, and then and then form those bonds with a friendship that can only be made once you actually get to talk and relate to people in person.
Well, in general, we just want this music to be poetic and spiritual. That's good, right? We just want to be natural.
We don't want to be just a beautiful piece of art. We want to bring our own resources, also put question mark to our own understanding of reality by trying to understand other people's reality, and then hopefully both making our little kingdom a little bit smarter, a little bit stronger, and making the people we cooperate with a little bit smarter, a little bit stronger, and maybe, hopefully, all of us a little bit more happy and peaceful. So that's part of working with the Danish Culture Institute.